everybody, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Wemi and this is Moments of Life. As the video indicates, we're here today to talk about homeschool and home education, and we're going to get a few tips out of me to hopefully help you as a parent who is new on this journey you've been thrust into by the unfortunate circumstances that we're all experiencing right now in the world around us. If you'd like to hear some more, please keep watching and we'll get right into this stuff. If you find yourself here, that most likely means that you are a parent whose child was in school and daycare, and you're now in this new space where you are responsible for teaching your child. And this probably also means this was not a choice that you made, but a decision that was thrust upon you by, again, the circumstances around us. So what that means is we're going to have a quick chat about some great tips on how to get you started on this journey. I'm here on our couch. It's a new setup for me here, but I figured, you know what, it's a conversation parent to parent, so I'm gonna sit back and relax and let's do this. Okay, how do you sit back? I like to have one leg up when I sit back, but that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so starting this off, I guess a little background on why I'm able to talk about this stuff is we made the decision to homeschool our son last year. He just turned 4 about a few weeks ago. And we've been homeschooling now for, we started in September, so how many months is that? 7, 8 months? And I'm just going to share with you guys what I have learned along the way and things that I didn't necessarily, I wasn't aware of from other people's videos. I'm just going to give you guys the tips that I've learned along the way. So the first tip I am going to share is unlearn everything you think you know about school. Meaning, because you are now teaching your child at home, we have to understand that this is not a school environment. And because of that, you have to be flexible and just understand that for the children, this is hard. For you, it's hard. It's new, most importantly, for everyone. And you just have to kind of roll with the punches and make the best of it. The second tip I'm going to give you here is to decide on your goal. In most people's cases who are watching this video, homeschooling is not something that you plan to do. It's just something that you have to do right now, which means your child is probably re-entering the school system the next school year. And what that means is there are goals that you have to achieve so that when they re-enter the school system, they are not behind their peers or they're not at a disadvantage from their peers. Especially, I think, the younger ones. I think with the older ones it's a lot easier to kind of catch up, but I feel like with the younger ones, because it could be something as simple as, can you write your name, and then you get to school and then you can't, and then they're the only one who can't write their names, and it's more awkward. So my first tip is to take a moment to sit down, and if your school board has given you information, then take that information and take your knowledge and make a list of what goals you would like your child to achieve in time for the next school year. And whether those goals are the goals that the school board gave to you or goals that you personally have for your child, because that will help steer and guide your home education journey. Once you have your list of goals, my next suggestion is that you then take a realistic approach at your day. If you are still working from home, this might mean that you have to balance your work day with your child's learning, which is extremely difficult. I will not downplay that. That is extremely difficult to still have to sit at a computer and work while trying to make sure that your child is learning and not falling behind. So unfortunately, I do not work a job that requires me to sit down at a computer all day. So I don't have a lot of tips for that specifically. What I currently do allows me to kind of work after hours, work at night while he's sleeping, so I don't have the same time conflicts as most people currently or would in this situation. But once you're able to sit down and figure out your time and what you can realistically get done, then I think your next step is having that discussion with your child that, hey, things are about to look a little bit different. For 1 hour a day, I need your A game, and we're going to do this during my lunchtime, or whatever time you're able to set aside to teach your child. Which brings to my next point. The next point being that you don't have to feel that you need to set aside 5 hours of learning or 6 hours of learning and have a full school day for your children. You do not need to do that. I'm actually going to advise against that entirely, and here is why. Because the school system does have a, 5 to, how long is school these days? 7, 8, I don't even know how long. I feel like I don't remember how long I was in school for. I don't remember at all. But a school day essentially is set up to allow the teachers to have the time to both instruct, assist, and for the kids to have the time to actually do the work and practice. All that needs to be done within a school day, and the teacher is not teaching 1 or 5 kids. In most cases, the teacher is teaching 20, 30, 40 children, which means that while you're instructing, those 30 kids might have questions. So you have to have time in your instructional period where you're answering questions and re-explaining things to ensure clarity. When you're teaching your children one-on-one, you don't need as much time for that, because whether you have 1 child, whether you have 5 kids, yes, they will definitely have questions, but you're not fighting off 30 questions. You're fighting off 5 questions, you're fighting off 2 questions. It's much easier and requires much less time to get that instructional period done. Next point is, when you are setting aside your instructional period, especially if you are still working from home, I think the best tip I can give you there is to have a set instructional period, meaning you probably won't have the luxury of sitting down beside your child or children and kind of doing their work with them the way you would if you were doing homework. You probably won't have the luxury of that time, which means you have to have a very short amount of time to teach them the content, and hopefully they understand enough to figure it out on their own. Which then means that as a parent, unfortunately, this is the harder part, is you will have to have prep time. And prep time for me, for example, my prep time is on the weekends. It's Friday night and it's Sunday night, and that's when I sit down, I look over my schedule for the upcoming week and figure out what I need to teach, and I make notes on how best to teach the content and what goals I want to achieve for that week. So for you as a parent, that might be every single night. It might be easier for you to do 50 minutes a night. It might be easier for you to do half a day on Sunday. But I think you should definitely set aside some time to review the content you have to teach, so that you make sure you know what the content is, and that you can also come up with a good game plan to allow you to be concise and effective in your teaching for your child while you're still balancing work. Next on that is, I think when it is finally time to sit down and do the instructions, you want to ensure, as I said, that you are concise, but you also want to ensure that you have the right tools for your kids. And that's a whole different video that I will do for you guys later. It was just some tools and resources that I recommend for you. So we'll do that in a different video. But again, once you start, I think once you get through the instructions and you let your children kind of figure out the work, I think the next tip is to relax a little bit. And what I mean by that is, it's very easy to feel like I gave you 3 sheets of work, you need to do all 3 sheets today. It's very easy to say that, but I am going to suggest a different approach to you. Think about how most of us work. Most of us in our different jobs, we have things we need to do daily, and we have things we need to do weekly, things we need to do monthly. My suggestion to you is to break up the tasks for your children based on daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals. What that allows you to do is it allows you to have some flexibility in your time, and allows your children to also have some flexibility in their goals. Meaning for us, how we do that is every morning there is a routine that my son is required to complete every single morning when we start our homeschool day. I mean, for him, what that is, he has a morning binder. In that morning binder, there is things like writing down the day of the week, the date, filling out a monthly calendar, the temperature, the time, as in like drawing on a clock, the time that we start school, writing out day numbers, trying to think of what else, but you guys can get the idea. There's essentially a binder that he has to do every single morning. Don't budge. I don't budge on that. You can choose what that looks like for you based on your child's age and the goals that you have set. The reason why that's our goal is because when we started homeschool, my goal for him was to be able to write out all his numbers, be able to tell time, and be able to indicate temperature. That was part of our goals. So because of that, our morning binder does have those. For your child, if your child is younger, it might be something as simple as being able to identify colors. It might be something as being able to identify all their letters. If they're older, it might be being able to do multiplication by 2. But essentially have something small that doesn't take too much time or too much brain power that they can repeatedly do each day to practice to get them closer to their goals. And then once they complete that part, then I would move on to a weekly goal. Meaning, with my son, for example, I have a set amount of work for the week that we need to get done. If you feel like doing 1 page today, I might let you get away with it. If I know that, you know what, you didn't sleep well last night, so you're a little bit moody today, I might give him a pass that day. But I do let him know that, hey, what this means is for the rest of the week, you've got to make up for the work you don't finish today, but it all needs to be done by Friday. So we can do 2 pages today, or we can do 7 pages today. Entirely up to you, but it's got to be done. And what that does is that mimics, I think, our work environment. A lot of us have things we have deadlines we need to meet. A lot of those deadlines, they are deadlines. We can choose to get the work done a week before. We can choose to get the work done the night before and stay up till 5 a.m. doing it. As long as you get it done by your deadline, your boss doesn't really care when you do it. So I kind of take the same approach with home education in that I don't really fight, I choose my battles. I don't fight on every single day that like we got to get these pages done before you leave this table. I don't have those battles because honestly it's just, who does that serve? It serves nobody, because even if he does do it, he's not actually learning. Because it's very important, in my opinion, for children to have a positive state of mind when they're learning, in order for them to actually learn and not just work. You know what I mean? Those are 2 different things to me. There's a difference between learning what you're doing and just doing it because you have to do it. And my goal is learning, not just doing. I want you to walk away and be able to apply the same concepts you learn at the table to the rest of the world when we are done our work. When we go down to make lunch, and if I ask you 1 + 1, I want you to still know how to do that, even though you're not at your desk anymore, because you actually learned it, not just doing it because mom was yelling at you to do it. So what that means, again, as I said, is we make sure we achieve those goals for the week, and then we achieve our goals for the month, which leads to our goals for the semester. So create the same schedule for yourself and your children over the next couple of months of what needs to be done. Figure out the best way to do it, and then give them the flexibility to do it on a schedule that works for everyone's sanity, because everyone's sanity is very important during these times. Let's not forget that. We're all under pressure, and it's very important that we stay sane. Honestly, in my opinion, once you're able to kind of set your schedule up that way, it makes it easier to achieve those goals, because you can find time, whether it's on the weekend, whether it's after dinner, as long as they're kind of getting the work done. I say allow your children the flexibility, because this is not what they are used to. It is different for them. It is a new norm that they are hoping will revert back to their old norm. So I have to kind of give them the grace to be children in the midst of it all. And that is probably what my biggest tip is, giving the children the grace they need at this time, because it's not easy for anyone kind of undergoing these current changes. And I feel like that kind of covers my main tips for you. Is if you are able to figure out a day that way, a routine that way, keep some part of your day a fixed routine, and allow the children to have some autonomy on other things of the day that are less important. Figure out what that is for your child and what that is based on the curriculum, based on the school goals you've been given. And I think if you can work based off those guidelines, it'll make for a great, hopefully positive experience throughout the next few months. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to leave the comments down below. I am more than happy to answer questions and give any further tips. I tried not to be too long with this. It's still much longer than I wanted it to be, but hopefully I was able to help you out just a little bit to kind of get started on this journey. And another quick tip before I go is set aside some space that the kids can call their own for learning. It'll really help. Thanks for watching, and I hope you hit the subscribe button. Leave your comments in the comment section down below, and I would love to chat with you and give you some more great tips on what's worked for us. Look out for the next video. I'm just kind of breaking this up, and I'll be sharing tools and resources and things that have helped us along our journey that can hopefully help you on this new journey as well, and hopefully make this cheaper for you. All right, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.